Okay, so let's go to Java performance and garbage collection video. This is a quick revise video. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. This is the notes that I have. Let's go to the first article from where we have got it, called Journal Dev. So if I go to the first image here, what is happening is uh, in Java garbage collection we have young generation and old generation, and plus we have a space called permanent generation. Permanent generation is what saves. If you see permanent generation here, this is a permanent generation. It's what saves the classes and metadata for the JVM. After JRE8, from JRE8, PermGen has been replaced by Metaspace. Therefore, this max PermGen is no longer valid. We have Metaspace JVM switches. If you want to see Metaspace in detail, you can click on this and it will take you to PermGen versus Metaspace built-in article. Let's close this for now. Now going back to this, what does it do? Now in young generation we have Eden and survivor spaces, Eden and two survivor spaces, and old memory. How does this work? So the Eden space, all new objects are created here. This is how all new objects are created, and we are assuming that the moment new objects are created, many of them will not be used, so all of them get created here. After then minor garbage collection runs. Now when minor garbage collection runs, the young generation is garbage collected, and whatever survives is put into either S0 or S1. The thing about S0 and S1 is they are called survivor spaces, and the thing about this is that only one of this is utilized at one point of time. This is to make it easy for allocating new objects. So after a minor GC, surviving objects from the young generation is moved to S1 or S0. Okay, and objects that survived many garbage collection cycles are moved to old generation. How does this help? We don't have to scan the entire object space every time a garbage collection runs. By dividing this way, we can run multiple minor garbage collection scans, which will take care of most of the newly generated objects. And only rarely, if we need, we will run a full garbage collection, which will collect the entire minor young generation as well as the old generation, which consists of objects that have lived for a very long time and therefore are less likely to have been dereferenced. Okay, so objects keep moving from Eden space to survivor space, and from survivor space to old memory, and the threshold for that depends on the JVM, depends on the size. If the Eden space fills up and the object has lived for long enough, it will move to the old generation. Now the switches, these are the JVM switches, which is the official page for this is this link, which is very good because you can get all the switches there. Though I don't think this is applicable for JDK8 plus, because this is mostly applicable for JDK7. Some of this is not applicable for JDK8. There is not a unified page I could find for JDK8, but most of this should work. So what are the switches? Let's see. The relevant switches here are XMS, initial size, MX, maximum size, MN is the size of the young generation. If you specify the size of young generation, whatever is left will go to the old generation. PermGen is only applicable on 7 or lower. This is the size of the permanent generation. Max PermGen again is the maximum size that will be allocated to metadata for the JVM. After JVM 8 or on and after JVM 8, we have Metaspace. Therefore, we have tags like Metaspace detail and we have tags like Metaspace size and Metaspace max Metaspace size. And we have survivor ratio. Survivor ratio is about Eden by survivor ratio spaces. That is, if the survivor ratio is 2 and the total young generation size is 10, then Eden will have 5 MB, survivor spaces will have 2.5 MB each. So the entire Eden by one survivor space is 2:1. That's the survivor ratio. Then we have the new ratio, which is the old generation by the new generation size. If it is 2, the old generation size will be twice as large as the new generation size. Then we have extra tags, switches here like verbose GC, which logs garbage collector runs, print GC details, which is verbose GC plus a lot of accurate timings and extra details. Then we have print GC timestamp, adds a timestamp to it. Heap dump out of memory error, which what it does is whenever an out of memory occurs, it automatically makes a heap dump so that it can be analyzed later. Then we have trace class loading, which actually logs when classes are loaded and unloaded from the JVM, which we might use for debugging purposes. This is an example, Java X, this is how you run it. Okay, and in Spring actually we can mention the same JVM arguments by -d Spring JVM arguments, and we mention all of this. Now let's see how a GC works. A GC mainly has 3 steps: marking, normal deletion, and deletion with compaction. Marking is the first step in a mark and sweep GC garbage collector, which marks all the objects which are necessary, which should now be garbage collected. A normal deletion deletes those objects. Deletion with compaction is a little advanced step which not only deletes the object, but it kind of defragments the space so that all the objects are now, which are alive, are now compacted together, and there is a continuous unallocated space, which makes allocating new objects faster, more like a defragmentation. So compaction is that. Now a simple mark and delete will have to run to the entire memory space, which is not good. That is why we have young and old generation. Old generation will only be cleared when we run a full GC, which is definitely costly. We can actually, in a running JVM, before running it, we can actually set the garbage collector that we want. Spelling is wrong, collector. So these are the things. First we have a serial GC, which is a simple mark and sweep compact approach, and it runs minor GC and major GCs. Then we have, let's see what is a major GC. If you see a major GC, it is a GC that works on the old memory too. So we have that one, and then we have a parallel GC which basically spawns same number of threads as the CPU, so that garbage collection, it takes advantage of the parallel nature of the CPU. Then we have use parallel old GC, which is basically a parallel GC, except that it uses multiple threads for both young generation and old generation garbage collection. Concurrent mark sweep GC is probably the most advanced one, which is best for real-time application. What it does is it runs a concurrent low pause collector. Okay, it does garbage collection for old generation and tries to minimize the pauses due to garbage collection, because usually a garbage collection is stop the world event. It collects all the garbages that it wants and then it runs everything else. Concurrent garbage collector works slowly in steps so that the application is not halted. Finally, we have the G1 garbage collection, that is first garbage collector. This has been added from Java 7 and it hopes to replace the concurrent mark and sweep GC. It's a very advanced garbage collector. It doesn't have the young and old heap space concept. What it does is it divides the heap space into multiple equal sized heap regions, and when a garbage collection is invoked, it checks the region which has the least amount of live data and goes for that first. So it's garbage first. Whichever heap stinks most, it'll try to garbage collect that one first, which is probably logical. Finally, to check all of this, we have something called as JPS. I will launch this here. Let me see. Let's go to git bash. Yes, JPS gives all the running processes in a JVM processes in a system. We have these many running JVM processes. Boot language is a microservice Spring Boot that is running. If you want to check that, we have to use jstat -gc and 15528. That is the process ID. This will give the JSTAT values, which we can see here. If you maximize it, this is JSTAT value. We have S0C, S01C. C is consumed. C is the total space allocated, and U is the utilized space. Okay. So S0C and S1C. We actually, if you want to see these details, let me go to the notes here. Yes. Let's go to this link. And yes, if I see uh, C is capacity. So this link will actually give you all the values here that we want. Okay, so if I see the actual command, S0C is S survivor 0 capacity, survivor 1 capacity, survivor 0 utilization, survivor 1 utilization. You can see only one of them is utilized. This is 0, this is 1. Both are not utilized at the same time. EU and EC, this is Eden space and Eden utilization. So basically the capacity of the Eden is 32 MB, but the utilization is 20 MB. OC and OU, old generation, old memory capacity and old memory utilization. The capacity is 19 MB, utilized is 100 MB. MCMU, now because my Java version, if you see right now, is 12, which is more than 7. We have meta space details, which is meta space capacity and meta space utilization. This is instead of the permgen that we have. Then we have CCS. CCS is, again, let's take the article here. We have CCS, which is compressed class space and compressed class capacity and compressed class utilization. What is compressed class and what is it utilization? It's a complicated concept. You can check it here. I have put links here in compressed class. Yes, I put details here. Meta space details, which will also have compressed class space details. You can look through this. Okay, it's a little advanced topic which I'm not covering right now. Then we have GC, YGC, YGCT. YGC is young garbage collection. Number of times the young garbage collector has run. If I want to verify the name that I am speaking here, let's see. YGC is, yes, number of young generation events and the young generation event time. So you can see it has happened 43 times and has taken 0.113 seconds. And you have FGC, full garbage collection time. CGC and CGCT. Let's see what is CGC and CGCT. CGC. Okay, we don't have it here. I am guessing CGC is the compressed class garbage collection and compressed class garbage collection time, which is, or the complete GC, because compressed class will be garbage collected only when a full GC happens. No, it's not exactly a full GC. This is FGC. What is CGC? Let's Google it. CGC. Okay, this article here we have CGCT is called concurrent total garbage collection, and yeah, and CGCT. Interesting. It opens Oracle. So this is actually the bug that adds to JSTAT, which actually adds a new column called CGC and CGCT. Basically it runs concurrent. I'll keep this link here. CGC. So CGC is basically the concurrent garbage collector. There's not much details here. This is basically what was done. So SWT phases are, so FGC is full garbage collection, that's definitely sure. STW is the stop the world phases in concurrent GC. So basically it checks the stop the world phases in concurrent GC. Stop the world events has happened in concurrent, while the concurrent GC was running, that 2 stop the world events have happened on the concurrent GC, okay, not the full GC. Yes, so this is to differentiate between FGC and CGC. And then finally we have GCT, which is the total time for garbage collection for this application. That has happened. Let's see if there's anything is updated. Nope, not much garbage collection happened between the last time we invoked this. So that is Java performance and details of performance. There's a video here which we can see, which is quite interesting and talks about the stack and heap memory. You can also look through this. That kind of ends this this phase of the video. Thank you.